Right, this is where the action begins. You can see the sun is on its way down. The food stalls are setting up. The chairs are out. This is what it's all about, my friend. We've got loads going on here. A bit of satay going on the grill there. This is a juice jeruk, yeah, citrus juice, and all the vegetable juices, juice sayur, satay padang. Oh, now this stuff looks beautiful. You got all these fried fishes, fried shrimps, and all that. Oh, look at that sambal ikan, chili fish. Oh, and down there, some gorgeous curries. Oh, look at the colour of that. That is beautiful. There's a bit of squid. Oh, and she's putting my favourite on there now, percadel. The little round fritters, yeah. They're called percadel. The big one is tempeh. The percadel's like a potato cake. Tempeh is like soybean. Percadel, yeah. Percadel.
Enak.
Yeah, enak, yeah. Oh, beautiful. This means delicious. And this chili fish, oh, looking good. That squid, I fancy a bit of that squid. I'm not going to stop here yet. It's my favourite, rendang, I think. Oh my god, I'm starting to salivate, seriously. It's everywhere, man, it's just everywhere. Look at this. Look at these cute little eggs. I don't know if they're quail's eggs or something like that. Bit of lovely fat fried chicken, you know. Some things inside that banana leaf. I'm gonna guess it's rice and a bit of meat or something like that. God knows what that is, but it could be interesting to find out. And just more beautiful curries, man. The best curries in this part of the world. These kind of omelettes as well. Oh my god. Oh. I don't know what I'm gonna have, but I'm gonna whip myself up into a frenzy walking around looking at it all, and then I'm gonna eat hard. As you might expect from like a staunchly Muslim area, there will not be a lot of nightlife options around. So if you're a deviant like myself, you know, you could get pretty bored here after a few days. But I mean, you know, this is Aceh. Nobody comes here to do that, right? We got some serious things to think about in this town. Having said that, there clearly is a large population. It was not like this earlier when I arrived. Obviously, this is now rush hour. Everyone's leaving work, coming home, whatever. So there's loads going on. You saw all the seats coming out in the street, you know, a lot of people sitting down to eat. I am informed by my taxi driver that this is the Chinese part of town, right? Hence the fact that you're going to see a lot more kind of functioning businesses up this street. And you even across the road, you can't see, can you see it? You got a Pizza Hut. Should I go for Pizza Hut second night in a row? No fucking chance, man. I am going straight back to that rendang percadel. Oh, I cannot believe it. I'm still thinking about it now. I have not stopped thinking about it. Yeah, there's also KFC over there. No chance, man. Not in this town. It is not happening. Gallery, cafe music, looks potential. Might get a beer in there, potentially, I don't know. Some of the hotels, they'll be selling beer inside. Most of the shops don't, obviously. And this one over here, this one is what, again, the taxi driver specifically recommended it to me. I don't think you can see it, actually, if I get under here. Banda Milang Melayu. Bunda Minang Melayu. The geezer told me that that is a shit top restaurant. So that is on the list, possibly for tomorrow. But like I say, it's all about the street for me tonight. Because that shit, already I can just look at it and I know it's going to be one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. So yeah. In its own way, Aceh looks pretty rocking. I'm going to let the sun fall, and then I'm going to show you around the night market a little bit, and then I'm going to eat myself to gluttony. Right, we've got a lot of these at the side of the road. Apa ini, Mas? Anggut. What is it? Like a fruit? Some kind of fruit? Like a really sour grape. Oh, sangat asam ya? Sangat asam. Terima kasih, Mas. Ya, terima kasih. Yeah, I've never had that before. That's the first time. I couldn't buy any. I wouldn't want to eat any more of those. Nice though, you know, in its own way. Again, if you're into sour grapes. No pun intended. But yeah, you know, commerce just setting up anywhere, you know. They got to find a way to make a living, these guys. So you're just going to see that. I mean, look, they're all over the other side of the road as well, you know. Right, and if you can hear above the sound of the traffic, the call to prayer is going on as well. That's something that you're going to hear all day, every day in these countries. Well, you know, I say all day, you can hear it 5 times a day. During certain religious festivals, it does go on all day long. Yeah, I remember being in Jakarta for like the birthday of Muhammad, and it just goes on all day long, man. Alright, starting to get my bearings now. I've been around the block this way. Yeah. So the town centre's pretty compact. I'm going to do a good bit of tourism tomorrow. You know, see some pretty thought-provoking stuff, I would say.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على
As you can see, this is where they can leave their shoes and wash their feet before entering the mosque.
حي على
You know, again, I've got very, you know, romantic memories of this country, and I view it in a very positive light. And I don't know if it's because of that, or I don't know if I can objectively say that it is really actually quite nice to hear that, you know? It's actually quite beautiful. And what can be very beautiful is hearing the call from this mosque and that mosque and that mosque and all these different places, and sometimes just the whole night sky is full of this, different tones, different, you know, voices, and honestly, this evening call, go a bit south to Jakarta where it's darker than this at this time, and it is really a special moment, right? But you know, each to their own. You might find it irritating. It's quite irritating at 5 o'clock in the morning if it wakes you up. Or like I say, during a religious holiday when it goes on kind of 24 hours a day, might be a bit much for some people. You know? If you want to see things like this at some point in your life, don't you? So I mean, you've got to know why you're here if you're in Aceh, right? You've got to know why you're here, what you're going to see, what you're going to do, you know? I'm certainly not going to, you know, not going to be getting up to my usual misbehaviour. Although, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be impossible. Some of the women, they still give you the eye as they're walking past. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Not like Jakarta, you know. In Jakarta, yeah, honestly, you think they're just going to rape you on the spot sometimes, the way they look at you. But in here, there's a kind of a sneaky little glance, a little smile. Oh, it's wonderful. Rooney! I bet that is named after Wayne Rooney. They love him over here. Used to be, years and years ago, when I first went travelling, people say, where are you from? You say England. They say, oh, Megaloin. Now, where are you from? England. Oh, Rooney. Times change. Both Scousers, though. Wouldn't trust either of them with your wallet, would you? Oh, sorry, being racist again. I said that to a woman. This, I think she was Polish, but living in England on the dive boat. She said she lived in Manchester. I said, oh, they're all thieves up there, aren't they? She said, oh, that's quite narrow-minded, isn't it? Like, people need to learn to take a fucking joke. Do you know what I mean? See this nice little painting job on all the shops down here? I'll show you this in the daylight tomorrow, I think, because that is quite a lively little market. And it will give a good flavour of how they're living. But you know, as the sun comes down, the shopping stalls go down and the food stalls come up. Oh, and surely a contender for the most magnificent sunset, right? Okay, you can't see the sun because there's cloud cover, but just look at the red sky, man. That is a good omen if ever I've seen one. Oh my God, I am happy to be back here, honestly. Just something about this place. Not without its problems, man. Fucking hell. Got plenty of problems. And if I can, you know, dive into that a little bit, hopefully you'll learn something about that as well. But for now, just know that This is one of the most fantastic countries on earth. So this area here seems to be like a convenience centre in which to base oneself. I'm up the road a bit, but you got to arrange your hotels here. This Hotel Medan, as you can see, it's a bit more upmarket, up to like 300,000 in there. This Parapat, they had rooms at 100,000, but they didn't have any free today. Wisata, that was something about 150 to 200. A place I'm in, I'm paying 175. Oh, and you got this thing opposite called the Rex. So that is obviously full of food stalls. You know, and plenty of marketplaces around here and whatnot. So it's like, you know, if you're a hungry boy and you need somewhere to sleep, it's on offer here, you know. You just gotta like manage your expectations. Like I say, I'm certainly not going to be going to any go-go bars for the next few days, but I'm sure that we would all agree that can only be a good thing, right? Right, now the eagle-eyed among you, the observant among you, might notice that I'm headed back to the same stall that I showed you earlier because it just looks so goddamn delicious, honestly. Oh my god. Oh, there's two, so I'm not sure which one's which actually. Now the danger here, because I've come so late, I've let it sit. Oh no, there they are, my little beauties. Oh, Percadel, I love you so much. I'm gonna go some of that, and one of these curries at least, and it will be with a big pile of rice. Ibu, yang mana rendang?
Kok.
Rendang, apa ini?
Rendang ini rendang.
Ya, apa ini?
Ini ayam.
Ayam, oke.
Nasi apa?
Nasi rendang.
Nasi apa, Dek?
Nasi rendang, perkedel.
Makan sini.
Ya, makan sini ya. Just look how beautiful it all is, man. Honestly, so good, so beautiful, man.
Banyak nasi apa?
And this one, I'm gonna try. I've never had this one, but I'm gonna go for a bit of that.
Nasi goreng.
Yeah. No, nasi putih.
Ikan apa ikannya?
So she asked, do I want fried rice? I'm having just plain boiled rice because that is the best, absorbs all the curry sauce and that. So we got a nice big portion of rice on the go there. So a little bit of everything going on the plate there. So exciting. I don't know what all this stuff is, but yang ini, please. Yeah. Ya, makasih ya. Perkedel yang tua. See, I'm a greedy boy. I generally eat more than the locals, but it is affordable, I assure you. All right, beautiful. Okay, terima kasih. Look at that for a meal. Right, it's just honestly, this stuff is so full of flavour. These little chilli things on top, I've never had before. It's like a peppercorn, I think. And look, you see this kind of long chilli thing in there? Oh yeah, ada jus jeruk, boleh? Jus jeruk? Yeah, boleh. Okay. Dingin, yeah, please. Cold one. Cold juice. Yeah, so all this different kind of sambal on top, honestly. It's just a taste explosion. It's sometimes better, actually, when you get it take away, because they wrap it in the paper and the rice absorbs more. But look at that big fat piece of meat. I didn't want to start off as a pig, because this food makes you put on weight heavily. And I'd often order 2 of these, you know, because we're used to eating big bits of meat, aren't we, in the West, and they just have that one piece of meat. That's enough for their whole meal. Oh fuck, I want to get an egg as well. Right, and just to top it off, I've had an egg on top as well. This is like a boiled egg, but it's also been dropped in the fryer. You can see the crispy skin. So I'll just break that open and see. But you see pretty much your standard boiled egg inside. So, enough talking, let's get on with the eating. Yeah, if you see this porcadel, it's like just a little mashed potato fritter, basically. Really soft though, it's not, they don't come crispy. It's like your bubble and squeak, but without the squeak. That's a fresh juice as well, right there. Yeah, this is just, you know, a perfect accompaniment to this meal, really. Love it. One thing you might have to get used to is that it's basically all cold, you know. It's all cold. They cook it at home, they bring it out here, and the only thing you get hot is the rice. It just grows on you, eating like that. It begins to taste like the norm. Just show you the colour of the rendang. This rendang, honestly, it's my favourite food in the world. It's the most delicious thing you eat. You see how the colour, that'd be beef, I would say, but traditionally would have been made with buffalo. But you see how it's just all red through and so tender, man. You know, it's stringy. You need a toothpick after it, but it's so worth it, man. Yeah. It's like rich, spicy corned beef or something. Yeah, it's just the best. It's just the best thing, man. My God. You are looking at a happy man. It's been so long since I've had a meal like that. You know, I'm gonna say that it wasn't the best bit of nasi padang that I've had. You know, I have actually been to the Padang region. That was, I should explain that what I was eating there, you know, was masakan Padang. So it's from the northwest side, well, the whole north actually of Sumatra, but the town of Padang is on the northwest side, and of course down there you can get a banging bit, and that was good, that was really good. But yeah, in the home of it, you really get a beautiful bit. And actually in Jakarta, you probably can get the best. Because, you know, it's a major city. So it's got, you know, all the options for everything. And that for me was probably the best stuff available in Jakarta. And actually even, believe it or not, a bit cheaper in Jakarta. I don't know if I suffered the old Lawai tax there, the Bule tax, as it might be in this country. It cost me 35, saying that included the drink, so the meal was probably only 30. But even so, I've paid about half that in Jakarta for a similar size meal. But no complaints, man. 35, yeah, 35,000. That is like £1.80 or something, you know. So for all that food and the drink, obviously I'm quite happy. But you go places in Jakarta and that meal, they're going to tell you like 15, 18. But yeah, then again, I do double up on the percadel, ask for a bit extra this, bit extra that. And rendang is generally one of the more expensive. If you have that sort of meal without the rendang, yeah, definitely 15, 20, you know, pound. Oh, it's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. No rest for the wicked, or indeed the righteous. The market actually starting to kick into life again at the night time. Plenty to be bought for tomorrow's cooking. You know, what really makes the food here, of course, is the spices. It just seems to be unlike any other place in the world that knows how to use spices. Indeed, the selection of spices is probably unlike any other place in the world. A large part of the original colonial efforts were indeed exporting spices, you know. The islands of Maluku were known as the Spice Islands, and they were under Dutch control for a long time. So all nice bit of fruit there, yeah, good fresh fruit everywhere. This one again, not in Thailand. I can't remember. Apa namanya?
Rambutan.
Rambutan. Oh yeah, that's what it's called in English as well. Bahasa Inggris sama. Rambutan. Right. Yeah, that's. Now it's coming back to me now. Yeah. I don't know, I ain't got much to say about it. There ain't much to say about it, is there? But it's just like a nice vibe, man. Everyone's chilled out, everyone's relaxed. Alright. Oh, it's just but there's energy in the air still, you know? There's a great energy in the air. And this is what I'm coming to with, you know, the contradictions abound in this country, man. Such energy, but at the same time so relaxed. You know, you got the Islamic culture and the Chinese culture, and you know, the adoption of Western culture in so many places. And oh, look at that for a pile of chilies. That is a beautiful sight. Beautiful, beautiful. Don't know what he said to it. Oh, this is obviously like Chinese market as well. You know, as I've explained before, you know, most of the proper businesses in Southeast Asia, the real money-making schemes, they will be Chinese owned. You just can't beat the Chinese and the Indians for doing business around the world, really. Obviously, us whiteys have, you know, done quite well in the kind of financial sector. But even they were doing that long before us. So just find it so interesting wandering around a place like this, you know. Just a complete sensation of being somewhere totally new, totally removed from your own culture. And that is what travelling is all about. But somewhere where it's so easy to get around, you know. So easy to get by. Well, not easy to get around actually, because public transport, etc., is pretty poor in this country. You know, still loads of options for, you know, private motorbike taxis and little sort of tuk-tuk things. You know, loads of options. Becaks, Bimos, all little like minivans, but they're just like inefficient, really. But they're cheap as anything. So if you've got the time and the patience and the inclination, then you can get where you want to go eventually. And I will need all of those things pretty badly in the coming week. Here's another one of the sort of what looks to be a bit more upmarket hotels. There's a few of these around, but it looks like kind of deserted, doesn't it? You know, I wonder if even after the tsunami, tourism has increased. I would think it might have done actually, because obviously it's kind of like a fascinating area to visit because of that. But I was looking on TripAdvisor, checking out the hotels, and so many of them said like weird, creepy, and that kind of looks a bit like that, doesn't it? It's like you go in, there'll actually be nobody staying there. Yeah, and that hotel Midan was like that. They were not friendly on that front desk, you know. They didn't really want to see, you know, someone check in that was not in Islamic dress, I think, you know. You notice some of the older women in that eyeing you up a bit suspiciously, things like that, you know. So, you know, nobody's saying that, you know, it's all good, it's all perfect. But for the most part, oh, they're good as gold, honestly. Youngsters, there's a couple of young lads running my hostel, not hostel, hotel, guest house. A couple of young lads there, really nice, really friendly, good for a chat, you know. It just honestly, it makes such a world of difference if you can speak a little bit of the language. You just get along with people, stand there chatting, they're happy to see you and all that. It's another strange little hotel, Hotel Aceh Barat, West Aceh that means, or Barat, yeah, Aceh Barat. You got to get the pronunciation right though, or they won't understand you. Not as bad as Chinese. Obviously Chinese is like really, you know, really important to use correct pronunciation. But hello. But with these guys, you know, this language is not tonal, but you just got to put on the act. You got to put the sabor into your voice, you know what I mean? I know that's Spanish, but it's because it's the same as Spanish in that way. You know, if you say, ¿Dónde está? People are like, what the fuck? So you got to be like, ¿Dónde está? You know, and this is exactly the same as that. You got to really like put the rhythm into it. You got to feel it. You got to pretend you're one of them. Geezer said to me in Malaysia, he was playing guitar, right? I'm like, sudah habis pak. It means you've already finished, because I came back to the place and he'd stopped playing. And he's asked me, I can't remember how he said it, but I got the gist of what it was. He said, how come you can speak Indonesian? Well, this was in Malaysia, and it's more or less the same language. And I said, how do you know I'm speaking Indonesian and not Malay? And he said, oh, because the tone is different, you know? He said, my brother-in-law's from Indonesia, so I recognised that. So I'm like, what, and I actually sound like an Indonesian? He said, yeah. So fucking happy with that. That was a success. I mean, he let me play his guitar for a few songs, which was not so successful. But anyway. Yeah, like I say, people are just genuinely friendly in this country. I can't explain it more so than any other place that I've been, I think. Except the Nazis, they're not so friendly. Oh, that was a good one last night. Met these couple of girls from Austria in the laundrette and played cards with them while we were waiting to do our laundry. I said, oh, are you German? And they said, Austrian. I said, oh, sorry, my mistake. I said, people often made that mistake about Hitler. and look how often he was misjudged. I don't think they thought it was that funny, actually, for some reason. Okay, so this one is Chennai Mama, Malaysia. Okay, it's some kind of sweet, sort of pancake-esque dish that he's making. You see the lad here is stretching out the pastry, adding the ingredients. Okay, obviously I've gone for Chennai chocolate. This one here, Chennai keju, is cheese. Okay, now in Indonesia, keju chocolate and cheese is a popular combination. We can also have Chennai pisang, which is banana, and this srikaya, which is that, which I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find out. So yeah, just look at him go, wrapping that shit up. And bosh, straight on the fryer. Looks good, huh? Looks absolutely fantastic.